Carolina Grace, and today I'm talking about anxiety. Anxiety, because I, for one, want to deeply normalize this as a somatic therapist, as a yogi, as a human. This is a nervous system experience that affects most of us and is on the rise and is really paralyzing at times. And like everything that we go through in a human body, mind, psyche, it goes along as a continuum. So my intention for this video is to provide some compassion for yourself, for others, some tips, or first some understanding of why and how and what we can do about it, and then to provide some breathing and some meditation practices that can support with this. So I want to back up way back into just a little bit of neuroscience around just how we are formed. Now, us humans, we are the most uncooked of any species when we come into the world. We could use an entire another trimester being cooked inside of our mothers, but because of the size of their pelvis and the size of our heads and our brains, we come out very uncooked into the world. And babies that are not touched, that are not held, they're not fed, we do not make it in this world without food, touch, and movement. And studies of all kinds of sad studies have shown this. And everything in our brains is developed in relationship. So, thus, those very lucky, very few babies that are brought into the world by a mother who is not stressed out, able to be on her chest and close to her heart, a skin-to-skin contact for another full trimester, they're going to have the best chance of having a nervous system that has the most amount of protection, resilience, and this looks like the ability to self-soothe even when there's a lot of external stimuli or stress, overwhelm, transition. They're going to look grounded and mellow. It might look really. And so a little bit of neuroscience that I love to geek out on is that in the neurons, these chemical messengers, they are coded by something called a myelin sheath, which I like to think of as like a hug. And for me, throughout my own healing journey, I've been working with mindfulness and with yoga to actually learn how to bring myself in from what feels like just an overwhelming openness that I think many of us experience if our moms had a lot of stress or were unavailable to us in terms of, fully holding us that extra trimester, which is most of us. So other factors that can contribute to anxiety are PTSD, are trauma. Trauma is defined as too much, too soon. So it can be really any news, any information, and if you're a highly sensitive being, if you're a psychic, empath, these are just words, but they can also, learning how to navigate this can be very tricky. And also for myself, I've noticed that now learning how to soothe a very sensitive nervous system is now the great medicine that I bring to the world. So if that is you, hang on, be kind, and as you're going through what you're going through, you are creating a map that you will learn to share with others maybe. The nervous system is like a baby, and it is, I just want to finish one more thought, which is that the myelin sheath. So the myelin sheath, when we are held in contact and someone else got us, our myelin sheath can be fully wrapped around the neurons, which allows the signals to fire and less interference to happen from one synapse to the next. So what ADD looks like, right? It's like overwhelm, or it can look like basically the neurons don't have that hug around them. They don't have the myelin sheath that supports the coding from one neural fire to the next synapse. And so there's a lot of interference. It's a lot of energy, right? So what a stimulant medication might do is it sharpens the fire. But I believe that one of the greatest ways to work with anxiety, depression, ADHD, or any of these PTSD symptoms is mindfulness, and is really deep self-soothing. This is the true medicine. And one of the greatest ways is to do what I've just done. You can tell my voice slowed and let my voice drop down into my body. Our voice, our vibration, the sounds around us, playing kind music, speaking to us kindly, playing, getting quiet time is a really great way to reduce the interference that surrounds anxiety. Often is a heightened nervous system. So, and learning to, I do a 30 Days with Grace program where we practice putting a hand over our heart. This is one of the greatest practices I know to work with anxiety in terms of mindfulness. In this practice, you inhale as slowly as you can, hold the inhale in, pause, and then exhale the breath out as much as you can, pause, and repeat. Because, loves, the nervous system is like a baby. It is like a child. And the way that we soothe the crying baby is we change our voice. This is intuitive. We change, we sing to her. We tell her, I love you, it's okay. I love you, it's okay. You're okay. I'm right here. I'm right here. Now, even just putting those simple words through my system, I notice everything just relaxed a little bit. This, guys and ladies and all genders, is one of the great ninja skills, is to speak out loud kind affirmations to yourself and to your nervous system when you're feeling anxious. And so let me actually explain anxiety. So, in anxiety, your nervous system has gone into, it's overwhelmed, right? So what happens is the energy gets pulled up and out from our roots, right? So we become a little less ungrounded. So this can really happen in transition, in overwhelm, and it looks like it's a state of dis-ease in mind and body. And what happens is the mind has wandered off into the future and is trying to eliminate the possible variables of stress or problem. It's doing its work outside of the body, although it doesn't do that work very effectively because we're not able, when we're fragmented like that, what's left behind is a body that doesn't feel good. So our energy is not clean, pure, and high vibration, so we're not attracting what we want. And we feel yucky, okay? So as the mind leaves the body to figure out the problems of the future and to it's already off there in the future, the heart goes with it. And so any practice of bringing your self back into present time, you can make a list, you can just get quiet, you can do this practice, you can do some breathing, you can do some yoga. Any kind of embodiment will help you anchor into your body. But you can also say, I'm in a hard moment. Okay. And you can name the emotions. I'm terrified. Because, loves, anxiety isn't just from a vacuum. There's a reason why you're anxious. There's a reason, there's something going on. And it's important for you to be with that. okay? Because what it is it's a loss of power. I'm afraid that God doesn't have my back. I'm afraid that I am going to fail. I'm afraid that everyone's going to laugh at me, right? Anxiety is a fear of something, and it usually just needs to be heard like a child. Again, that nervous system just wants to be heard. And then it is soothed. You can say, I hear you. I feel you. This is a tough moment. I'm right here. I don't want to hear about it. Another way to work with this is through this breath. Kundalini, Sat Nam Kriya, left thumb over right if you're a woman, man, either way, if you identify somewhere in the middle. So you go Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Each Sat, you're going to engage the root lock, because what you're doing is you're wanting to really get yourself down, grounded into your body. I find that banging my feet, a run or a dance can really help me get down into my body when I'm feeling anxious. Sometimes you need to scream or really come into your voice, feel your power in that way. To work with anxiety is with alternate nostril breathing. In this breath exercise, you'll start with the thumb on the right nostril. Inhale through the left, 5 counts. Close the left nostril, exhale out the right. Inhale through the right. And exhale out the left. Now you can set your timer for this, and you can do this for many minutes. I already noticed 3 rounds, my brain is balanced. Okay. So a few other pieces is that as we're getting ourselves grounded, this is a state of dis-ease in the mind and the body, but a way to get us back into the body. There's several things you can do, if exercise, if singing, or you're just not feeling like that. You can rub your skin with oils. So all kinds of oils. You can take oils, omega-3s internally, and you can rub your skin with oil, especially the soles of your feet, to get yourself anchored into your body, starting on your external limbs and coming in towards your heart. And that helps to activate and call in that myelin sheath. But even the breath, the focus on the breath, each breath, if you breathe it in, you could feel it. It's like a warm hug. And exhale out. And you breathe in and out of your heart. Inhale in like a warm hug. And exhale out. Inhale in. And exhale out. Bring your left hand over your heart, right hand into Jaan Mudra. And above all, I want you to know you're not alone. I want you to know that nothing's wrong with you. And maybe I'll make a separate one for depression. Yeah, I'll do a separate one for depression. But oftentimes we have both. We yo-yo back and forth. So, and that's all good too. Okay, normal, very normal. Most humans experience it at some point. So I love you. Good job being human, and I hope this helped. Please feel free to write me back with any feedback or anything you're wanting more of, or if you're wanting a session or wanting to be part of my one-on-one coaching program.